Good evening, friends. My name is Reilly, and this is a bedtime yoga sequence. So I hope that you had a really great day, but if you didn't, don't worry. We will get you nice and settled down. I'll take good care of you. So get your PJs on, brush your teeth, and come to your mat. We're gonna start with a little bit of mindfulness and breathing and really allow yourself to ground down and let go of any stress from the day. And then we'll stretch out and then settle into a really nice Shavasana, and hopefully you can go right to bed afterwards. So we're going to begin in constructive rest on our backs. Bend your knees. And then open your feet out, maybe about as wide as your mat. Whatever's comfortable. Our aim here is just to have our knees be able to knock in towards each other and be fully supported. Take your hands and bring them onto your belly, nice and light. And begin to take some nice deep breaths in, and maybe even open mouth, sigh it out. Sighs are really good for telling your body it is time for rest. Big breaths in, soft sighs. Letting go of your day. And then start to just notice your breath underneath your hands. And see if you can really breathe into your belly. Filling up and expanding underneath your hands, and then slowly allowing your hands to sink down as you exhale. And beginning to really extend out your exhales. The longer and slower you can breathe out, the more calm your body will become. See if you can let your shoulders fall soft. Unclenching your jaw, relaxing your eyes. Every exhale gets a little slower, a little longer. And noticing your body here. Any sensations that stand out to you. In particular, noticing all the places where your body meets your mat. Underneath your feet, underneath your hips, along your spine and your shoulders, the back of your head, back of your arms, everything held soft here. And then noticing your mind. What's the state of your mind tonight? How fast are your thoughts? How clear are they? How present is your mind in this moment? And noticing if you are judging your mind for perhaps being busy or distracted. And see if instead you can listen to learn, just to see the state of your mind. Take a nice deep breath, letting it go, and then check in with your heart. How are you doing tonight? What sort of emotions are you experiencing? When's the last time you checked in with your heart? And again, listening, this time to understand, not to analyze why you're feeling that way, but to validate how you're feeling. And knowing that there are no bad feelings. That oftentimes the uncomfortable feelings, the ones we enjoy less, are our heart's way of telling us that something needs to shift. Perhaps we need to change our perspective about something. Perhaps we need to forgive. Or maybe give a little bit more care to ourselves in some areas. So take just a couple moments to breathe deep and listen. Checking in with yourself. And then setting an intention for your practice. How do you want to feel after this class? Maybe even, how do you want to feel as you rest tonight? Do you want to fall asleep with ease? Do you want to sleep deep and wake up feeling refreshed and ready in the morning? Taking a nice deep breath with your intention. And then begin to toe heel your feet back towards each other and hug your knees in towards your chest. You can be active here, really squeezing them or rocking them side to side, or more passive and stay in stillness. Both are good. And then gently beginning to extend your feet up towards the ceiling. Roll out through your ankles. Flex and point your feet. And make sure that you give your toes a wiggle and a little scrunch. So maybe stretching a little bit in the back of your thighs. It's okay if your legs are bent. And then hugging your knees in, and we'll press up to tabletop, keeping ourselves very calm as we transition. Coming onto all fours. Bring your knees right underneath your hips. Hands coming underneath your shoulders, and make sure your fingers are spread really wide and they're really pressing down so you're nice and stable. Toes can be tucked or untucked in the back. And we'll move through my personal favorite, some cat-cows. As you breathe in, allow your belly to drop down and lift your chin. As you breathe out, push into your hands, tuck your chin towards your chest, and curl your spine nice and big. Breathing in, dropping your belly down. Open through your chest. And breathing out, press away. See if maybe you can close your eyes here and really experience this. Feeling your inhales to drop your belly. And your exhales to curl your spine. Moving with your cat-cows if this feels really good for you. If you'd like, maybe start to add in some extra movement. Not necessarily worrying about what that looks like. Maybe moving your hips side to side or shifting forwards and backwards. Stay with your breath. And more importantly, stay in your body. Notice what it feels like to move here. Really honoring your body by listening to it. By seeing what feels good and caring for it by doing that. Take a couple more rounds of breath just to move and breathe. See if you can be even more present in your body. Eventually making your way into a tabletop or a nice neutral spine, so a flat back. Making our hands come a little bit farther forward or walking them forward. We're going to take our big toes to touch. Option to keep your knees as they are or to open them out a little bit wider. And begin to press your hips back towards your heels. Relax your forehead down. Take a couple of breaths in child's pose. Don't stress at all if your hips don't touch your heels or your shoulders are really tight. Just doing your best to breathe here, making some space in your body. Nice, big, deep breaths. And on your next inhale, push into your hands to lift your chest just a little bit. Lift your hips up slightly and walk your hands over to the right. Pressing your hips back towards the left. Maybe let your forehead come back down to the mat. Breathe deep into your side stretch. Maybe a little extra emphasis on your inhales this time. Really breathing in full. One more breath. Next inhale, come back to center, lifting the hips up slightly. Walk your hands to the left. Press your hips back right. And once more, focusing on some big inhales and allowing your side body to stretch out. Notice what it feels like for you. Next inhale, pressing up. Reach your hands forward again. Keeping them in the same place, your toes are gonna stay in the same place, and we're gonna press up for downward facing dog. Shifting your hips forward, tuck your toes under, straighten through your legs and press your hips up. Nice and slowly pressing your chest towards your thighs, really ground down into your hands. Okay, if the legs are bent and heels are lifted, maybe take a couple little movements here or stay in stillness. Are you still breathing nice and deep? Feeling your body being present with the sensations under your hands and feet, really being present. One more breath. And then nice and gently lowering back down to your tabletop shape. And then come to take a seat. Do a little bit of a hip stretch here. This is called fire log. And when you go through steps, because sometimes our hips can be tight. So step one is even to just take butterfly or bound ankle. If that feels okay, maybe you cross your ankles. Flex through both of your toes. So pull your toes towards your knee. And see if you can let your hips relax down. We are slowly going to keep working the right foot up higher. And eventually, maybe, our right foot comes to stack on top of our knee and our left foot pulls forward. So that way both shins are parallel. If you find you try this and your knee is way up and you're like, you can always take it down a level, okay. But we're just slowly going to see if we can start to open up our hips. And don't worry about how far down your knees are or hitting the max in your posture or asana. But instead, our only objective here is to create space. So are you feeling a stretch in the outsides of your hips? Can you still breathe smooth? Not worrying about how far in we are. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Maybe even close your eyes, stay for 2 more breaths. Just feeling and experiencing the sensations in your hips and inviting them to open. And gently we'll switch sides. Crossing your left ankle over. Maybe crossing it all the way over, maybe not. Maybe it's somewhere in between. It's okay again if this knee is lifted. Nice deep breaths. If your ankles and knees stack with ease, you're also welcome to bow forward here and stretch, but only if your hips are cool with it. Make sure that you're sweet to your body. Relax your shoulders again. If you're clenching your jaw, try to soften it. Send some appreciation to your body, and those big deep breaths are so important. We're sending all that fresh oxygen in while you're stretching open through your legs. One more breath. And then gently coming out. We're going to make our way to lunge. You can use tabletop as a transition, down dog for those who practice more active yoga classes. But we're gonna take our right foot and step it towards the right thumb. So we're hitting this nice little lunge shape. Slowly starting to press your hips forward. Maybe they go far, maybe they don't, doesn't matter. But we wanna make sure that our front knee stacks over our ankle on the top. So if you find that as your hips press forward that your knees start to go beyond your ankle, just give this a little scooch to the front foot so you make sure that you keep your alignment. If you have any props you'd like, they're really great underneath your hands, especially if you have some yoga blocks. Those are wonderful friends. Breathe soft, relax your shoulders, and let your hips press forward. Slowly pulling your belly in, begin to push into your front leg and pressing your hips back for half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. And as you press back, look, pay attention when your hips stack over your back knee stack. Okay, that's the golden place. Flex through your front foot. I often will see yogis press their hips a little bit farther back, which tends to make the hips sit off kind of funny. So keeping everything stacked and shift a little bit of weight over to the right into your front foot. And breathe. This one can be very intense. If you'd like, have as much bend underneath your knee, have props under your hands, but either way, try to breathe really smooth. If you're ever in a yoga posture and you cannot breathe smooth and with ease, that's a sign you're too far in, okay? So back out of that and your muscles will be very happy and respond much easier. One more breath. Pressing back for your lunge, and we'll switch sides. Left foot coming forward for lunge, hips pressing, grab any blocks or props that you'd like. Nice deep breaths. Try to have soft shoulders, be very sweet to yourself. Knee stacks right over our ankle. See if you can relax your toes on your front foot and stay for one more breath. Maybe your hips press a little farther and thus your toe inchworms a little bit farther forward. And then moving really mindfully, beginning to push into your front leg. Press your hips back. Look at where your hips and your knee are. And stop when your hips stack over your back knee. Flexing through your foot on the front, pull your toes towards your knee. A-okay if this knee is bent. A-okay if you're up on some props. Okay, we are just making space. More space for more movements, hopefully less pain. Nice deep, slow breaths. One more. And then bending into your front leg. Take your feet together, your knees together, and then we'll come into Shavasana. Woohoo! Coming onto your back. Lay out nice and long. Good things, my friends, good things. Kind of shift yourself around a little bit. Wiggle anything that you need to feel like you can really begin to settle in here. And as a general consensus, palms up is to receive, palms down for grounding, and hands anywhere on your body for a little bit more self-love or internal work. Come back to those open mouth exhales, breathing in, and open mouth, sighing it out. That felt nice, maybe do a couple more. And allowing yourself to begin to melt into your mat. Utilizing exhales to soften. Every breath out, your body releases a little bit more tension. Absolutely nothing you need to do right now. Nothing you need to analyze, nowhere you need to go, no one you need to take care of. Really giving yourself permission to come to a place of rest. Feeling where your body is held by your mat. The softness in your legs. See if you can smooth out your forehead and eyes even more. And maybe once more, taking those long, slow exhales. And if you find any thoughts come along, breathe in to acknowledge them and breathe out to send them on their way. Not getting wrapped up in their stories. See if your next exhale can relax you even more. Inhale, I am. Exhale, totally relaxed. I am totally relaxed. Melting, melting, and softening into this space. Sending thoughts as they come. And taking just a slightly deeper breath. Keep yourself very calm still, but wake yourself up just enough that you can roll onto one side. So maybe wiggle out fingers and toes just a little bit, and then gently rolling over onto one side. Again, thinking of your intention that you set, how you want to feel after this class, and notice that you already do feel that way. And then gently pressing up, and we'll close together, and hopefully you can head straight to bed. Hands to heart center, shoulders and face are soft. The light, the love, the teacher and the student in me sees, honors, and cares very much for your light, your love, the teacher and the student in you. I hope you have a wonderful night's rest, and thank you for trusting me to be your guide. May you walk in peace and so much wonderful sleep today and every day. Namaste. Thank you, my friend. Sweet dreams to you, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.